The rain in Spain stays mainly in the...
Step by step through the sun and rain, over mountains, across the plains. WCBH is on the go. Join us as we walk the Camino.
So it's day 29. It's a rest day in Leon. This is our third rest day. First one was after 6 days in Pamplona. The next one was after roughly 9 or 10 days in Burgos. And now we're having a rest day in Leon. And the next one will be in Sarria. And that will be our last rest day before we hit Santiago. So I think we've got about another 9-10 days before we have our next rest day. Now, we got into Leon, which is a large city, one of the largest cities that we'll go through on Friday night, and that's the Friday before Palm Sunday. And our apartment, which is a loft apartment, overlooks one of two squares. There is the Cathedral Square, and possibly 100 metres away is a second square, which, Plaza Square. There's some sort of government buildings here, but it's certainly in the cathedral precinct. So we're talking about stone streets, narrow streets, very old buildings, only up to 3 stories high. Beautiful loft apartment that's been very nicely fitted out. It is cold, but I don't really want to talk about the weather. I do want to talk about what we've seen since we've been here, because just by chance we've got in on the Friday before Palm Sunday, and Spain being a very religious country, a very Catholic country, certainly puts a huge significance on religious events. And we've been in Spain, in Barcelona, for the Feast of the Epiphany before, and seen them huge parades that they've had through the streets of Barcelona. Well, for Holy Week, we've just seen advertising in so many stores along the way, flyers, publications, really building up towards this week that we're about to enter. But it all started Friday night. Sherilyn, do you want to sort of talk about some of the things that we've seen so far in terms of the parades?
So on Friday night, we saw, it was like a version of the Pieta, and it was on what they call a float, and it was held by, I think I estimated it was close to 50 to 60 people it took to hold that float.
These are big, heavy wooden structures.
Heavy wooden structures.
And ceramic?
The sculptures, from what I've read, have been done by some famous artists around the region. And so they're looked after by these different groups that they call brotherhoods. And they all focus on a different saint or holy figure in a particular aspect of that figure. And families follow these groups and they look after those sculptures.
So not wanting to misrepresent, but it almost looks like different orders, and there's a colour assigned to the orders.
There's colour assigned, they have specific clothing, they might have a particular coloured sash, or they might have a hood or a cloak, and then they have their emblem. And so Friday night was quite spectacular. We'd never seen anything like it before. You hear the band coming, and the drums are of particular significance here in Leon. They're known for this driving drum beat.
And it's a bit of a hypnotic walk that they do. It's not forward in terms of the marching. It's side to side, but slowly moving forward. And someone has the role carrying the staff that hits the stone. I suppose that's a timing thing. So that was last night. We're talking into the evening. Hundreds, maybe thousands gathering along the inner streets of Leon to watch this parade, and then hundreds of people participating in the parade.
Yes.
In terms of the musicians carrying the various floats, etc. They've built temporary grandstands. Now, we got up this morning, and then the square that we overlook, it was being set up and being turned into a fruit market.
Yes.
So that was great. We went and had a wander through the fruit market. Seemed to be very much that everyone local came out, got their fruit and veg from the market. But then up towards the cathedral, there was a number of museums, and we sort of wandered up there, and church incense. We could smell that and sort of followed that smell, and then ended up inside a museum, free entry, which was nice, and they had a number of those floats inside for us to sort of have a look at and take some photos.
I think it was a Semana Santa museum. So it was like a Holy Week museum, and they had some of those orders there with some of the floats. So one of the floats we saw, I think, was the Our Lady of Divine Grace, and we saw another with Jesus on the cross.
And you bought a set of rosary beads.
Yes.
And when we bought those, they seemed very happy, not because we got the sale, but because we were, I suppose, engaging in what was taking place. And the man came up to us. There seems to be a lot of people dressed in suits, almost like
Yes.
minders. He came up to us with a sheet of stickers, and it all had the same sticker on the sheet, and put one on you and me and on Chan. And then we quickly worked it out, and it's also on the building that overlooks the square. That's one of the orders.
Yes, it is.
It's almost like they were sort of, here, we're going to put the sticker on you, and almost claiming us.
Yes.
Right, you can belong to our order for today during your stay here in Leon. And I must say, it was kind of nice to get one of those stickers. It made you feel part of it.
Made you feel very welcome. And being Catholic ourselves, I think it's quite wonderful to see Holy Week celebrated like this.
It's a big deal.
It's a huge deal, to start from Friday. And
Before Palm Sunday.
Exactly. In Australia, we start Palm Sunday, and most people will remember Holy Thursday and Good Friday, and of course, Easter Sunday. But here they roll from Friday all the way through. Holy Week is the whole week leading up to Easter Sunday, and they have over 30 processions here. And
In the centre of Leon.
in the centre of Leon. They all have different routes. This is from what I was reading because I was fascinated by it. And they all focus on different figures. So the one we saw today,
Which was the junior one, the kids one.
we saw that this morning. So
Yes.
they were learning how to do it, and you could see everyone was clapping and encouraging them. They carried small floats.
So just to set the context, we're out there in the square. We were, having a look at the football shop, which is the Leon football shop, the local team here, having a bit of a wander. And then all of a sudden, everyone's gathering along the side of the street. You got the policia cars to start and finish it. And then it was like the junior procession where all the kids it's a bit like Harry Potter in terms of all the kids wearing cloaks, but they're all in their orders cloaks, the green and the purple and the brown and all the different orders. And there was certainly there was a lot of proud parents aligning the streets there as the children participated in this.
They were carrying images on cloth banners of the Stations of the Cross, and then they had one float of the Virgin Mary, and the older kids were carrying that.
And it's Saturday evening here. Sun is just disappearing as we're doing the recording, and we've just seen yet another procession. Musicians, floats, a few different orders. Not to simplify it, but the order in purple,
Yes.
they seem to be very much leading this, and there was an order in black, which had sort of a different sort of attire. They also were involved in it, but you were saying that quite possibly there's another one to come later tonight.
There could be. I looked up the program and there's quite a number to come because obviously they have to get through 30. But this evening's was quite spectacular because they were very large floats. There were 3 of them and they were larger than the ones last night.
So it's Palm Sunday tomorrow.
Yes, it is.
Now, we'll be going out of Leon probably around 9 a.m. We're probably going to miss what happens on Palm Sunday in Leon. We'll be walking from town to town, but the next week as we make our way from Leon towards Saria, potentially we'll get to see some other towns, like this is the city, but towns and villages, and to see what they do in their town for Holy Week. It's going to be a big week, and we worked it out that we won't be in Saria. We'll be on our way to Saria for Good Friday, Easter Saturday, Easter Sunday, etc. So it's going to be a big week. It'll be a very interesting week, and it'll be another week where we're able to sort of participate, but also compare what we would do in Australia, what we would do in Darwin around during this period, and then what happens here in Europe.
It'd be hard to top the one today because those floats were huge. I don't know, it must have been 60 to 80 people holding each float, I think. But they were like gardens on top of those carvings because the first one was Jesus in the garden being betrayed by a kiss. And then the next one was the cross with the 2 ladders with his body, obviously it was empty, but again strewn with flowers. And the last one was his body that was taken down and placed in the tomb. So it'll be interesting to see how the other towns do it and what they actually do, but that was quite spectacular this afternoon. And in Australia, we have nothing like that.
It's we're here, I suppose, just by chance, really. Like there wasn't any great design to be in Leon, for today. It's just the way it all worked out. But that will be really interesting the next couple of days to see what we will see.
Mm-hmm.
The rain in Spain stays mainly in the...
Step by step through the sun and rain, over mountains, across the plains. WCBH is on the go. Join us as we walk the Camino.